What's up, everyone? It's your boy Quicksand, and this is episode 184 of Mindset Monday. And in today's episode, I'm going to teach you Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's go-to move. Let's step in. So I'm calling the drag Shai's go-to move because he does it very often in today's game. But I've seen players in past master this move, and we're talking about D. Wade, Kobe, Iverson. I'm sure he studied the game, looked at their play, what moves he can use, and he picked up this move. He works on the drag. You can get into a low drag, or I've seen him also get into a high drag where he stands up straight. Whatever the defense gives you is what you're taking. So in order to learn the drag, you have to learn the footwork. So it starts with our foundation. We have two cones, one cone here, another cone up ahead. Now I'm gonna have my left foot by this cone, and what I'm gonna do is start off with my right foot back. So right foot back, left foot forward. And the drag is when you get into a lunge position like this, my shoulder is by this defender's hip, so the defense is right here trying to stop me. Now, oftentimes you'll make contact with this defender's hip, and that helps you to gain more space after you do the drag. So the drag looks like this. You're low in this position, and then you bring the basketball from your right hand through your right leg, behind your right leg. And then you get into a foot replacement, and then you're shooting. So the foot replacement is, this is how my feet are supposed to be when I shoot, right underneath my hips. So if I get into the lunge position, they're out of place. But once I get into the drag, I bring it back into a hop, into a foot replacement, and into the shot. So we're just breaking down the footwork, starting like this, working on getting low, and then getting into our hop. Now you can shoot, or you can just only work on the footwork, which is what we're working on right now. Now, another important component to getting low on the drag and selling that drive, which is what we're doing, right? We're selling that drive to the basket. Okay, they're trying to stop us from getting to the basket and creating. So that's why we use our momentum against them. So one really key here is that we're looking at the defender's hips. So as I continue to go forward and get ahead of the defense, we're reading their hips. If they're like this and you start to go forward, if they cross their feet at all, this is how you know that their momentum is continuing to go downhill. So you use that against them, and you get into a drag. Now that drag, you go from really quick when you take off to slowing down, getting into your shot. So low, foot replacement, no dribble. Now you can add that dribble in. So I'm low like this, one dribble, and then a second dribble to get into the drag. Now, if you notice, my left foot, the one that's anchored to begin with, the one that I keep back here, my shin angle is about 90 degrees. So the lower that I get this leg, the lower that my hips are, and the more that I sell that drive. If I'm this low, the defense has to get just as low, or at least even with me, in order to stop as quick as I'm stopping. For this next part, I'm gonna use the cone as an accountability tool to stay low. So if you have a cone, place the cone down on the floor. And once you get into your drag, I go forward into the lunge, 90 degrees here. I'm low, my shoulder's low. I'm gonna touch the cone right here on the red and then drag through. So when you get to this low position and you're touching the cone, it automatically keeps you accountable for dropping your hips, for getting 90 degrees, and for dropping your shoulder. And once you're in this position, you're in a powerful position to choose whether you want to take off and get to the basket for a layup, or if you want to snatch back, get into the drag, and then shot. Now let's go over all the footwork options at game intense speeds. So no dribble to start. One dribble and drag. one dribble drag, and then touch the cone. Once you got all the different types of footwork down, step out to the perimeter beyond the three-point line and get into any move that you want. 1 to 2 moves, get by your defender and get them going downhill. And then once you want to drag, if you want to get into your move and drag right here into the three-point shot, you can. You can go 1 dribble ahead and drag here, or even 2 dribble into the drag. Now you have a mid-range shot. Mix up the different types of finishes when you're working on it and see how much you get better throughout the reps. Mix up your moves. Another key to selling the drive and really getting that defender to fall for the drag is to get into a lunge that really extends forward. So we talked about 90-degree angles here. The further away your right foot is from your left, the more low you're able to get and the more you're able to sell it. Okay, so if you can also sell it like this and just kind of get into one of those drags. But the further away you are, the lower you get, the more you can touch the cone and the more you can get into your space because you're able to create space on these drags. And that's a wrap for this video. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss another drop. And as always, please share this video with someone who you know can benefit. Let's tap it.